You want to see me get something spectacularly wrong in 4K?
Germany can have a history of shame. They have a history of glory, but they also have a history of shame. But they do not deny it. They embrace it, and they embrace the consequences to be able to build a better country.
My video is 4 years old. The video that I used to show how spectacularly wrong I was is from last week. And there will be three types of reaction to this, I think. There will be those of you who will rush to comfort me by telling me that I weren't to know. And to that I say, I should have, because I went to the Museum Island in Berlin. How could I have argued at the time that a country has a history of shame when it displays so shamelessly its trophies of empire? It should have been clear and obvious to me by then that they didn't regret their colonial past, just regretted the thing that ended up causing them spectacular harm. All of the solutions that they took to mitigate what they did was to mitigate the act rather than the principle, which is that genocide shouldn't happen, full stop. Then there will be those of you who will say that things just became worse recently, so that I shouldn't blame myself, but have they? The genocide in the DRC has lasted for the last 30 years. The phone that I had bought at that time was made potentially with coltan that came from the DRC. Gaza was still the biggest open-air prison, and Palestinians were having their food and calorie intake restricted, a harbinger of the horrible starvation that we're seeing at this moment. And all of this was happening with the full support of countries like Germany. And there will be those of you who will say that this was always like this. I just selectively did not see it. And you will be right. That's the thing that, although I hate to admit, stings my pride the most. I thought I was a very well-informed person, and I obviously wasn't. Here is hate, and I could blame a lot of people for this. A biased media, institutions that claim to be universalist, but are just Western-focused. A very well-oiled, centuries-old imperial machine of propaganda that teaches everyone that lives in the imperial core that not only are they the kindest and most successful people in the world, they are also the most virtuous. But for all my protestations, my lack of curiosity certainly did not help. The thing is, although I know in my heart of hearts that not a day will go by for the rest of my life in which I won't look back and think about what I missed and what the consequences of me missing it were to the people that suffer the consequences of Western centrism, I know that I'm not going to be doing it alone. You're not going to be doing it alone. We're going to be doing it together. And that will make us better people.